Hey, what's up, Hilo News family? This show is brought to you by Baptist Health's Pine app. Healthcare at your fingertips with the Pine app. Head to HiloNewsMiami.com right now to learn more about their app and all the new features created to improve your healthcare experience with Baptist Health. Thank you for tuning in. This was awesome. Thank you for tuning in. What's up, Hilo News family? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk, the show where we talk to dope people in the community doing dope things. And since it's election season, I'm talking to candidates. I want my audience to know and hear from the candidates themselves why you should be voting for them. And today I'm so excited to have my guest on the show. She's running for state representative. She's a newbie, but don't take her for play, okay? She's nothing to play with, and I'm so excited to have her on the show. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on Ashley Gant. Hey, what's up, girl?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, welcome to Hilo News. I appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for giving me this platform. I appreciate it. Thank you for creating this platform. Let's talk about that, okay? Like creating something that is for our generation, for younger people to stay involved, stay engaged, and stay informed. Like we got to take up the mantle now. So I appreciate you creating this space. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And honestly, I know right now is crunch time for all candidates. So I really appreciate you taking time to speak to us, especially independent media, Black-owned media, media that is for Black and Brown millennials. So it says a lot about your character and the work that you're doing in the community because you see the value in this. So I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Like we have to be the voices. We got to speak truth to power, and this type of platform is what creates that. It's what facilitates that. 50 years from now, people are going to be, calling like, oh, I got to get on this platform. I got to get an interview with this media outlet. So I'm just happy to support you 100%.
I appreciate that. And so, guys, I'm not even going to keep it a secret. We're Chiefs.
That's City right.
So it was not going to be no way I was not going to have a chief on who's running for office on the show. Are you kidding me? Like,
correct.
So Carroll City Chiefs stand up out there, orange and black. We bleed orange and black. So
yes,
have Ashley on the show today.
Absolutely. Like Chief Pride, 100% every day, 365, 24/7. And, of course, I was like, say less. That's basically what I was like. All right, like no problem. So
exactly. And when I saw you running for office, and a couple of people reached out to me like, you got to interview her. I was like, oh, that's easy. Like, what are you saying? So we just got to schedule it. Right. You know what? I want to jump right into it. We're talking about Carroll City and the high school that we went to. Can you tell me a little bit about your background, where you're from, and also tell me how you got into politics?
Okay, so I'm a Miami girl through and through. Born and raised. I went to Carroll City, of course. I'm a chief. I actually went to Carroll City for the law magnet. So thank God, right? I went to the University of Florida. After graduating from school, I taught. So I did teach for America in Mississippi Delta. So I was in the country of the country. Oh, wow. Okay. I came back home and I kept teaching. I taught for 7 years in total. And then my last year of teaching was actually my first year of law school. So I've always wanted to be a lawyer, hence me going to Carroll City for the law magnet. And I went to law school, became a lawyer. I was a public defender right out of the gate. And throughout teaching and my career as an attorney, I've always been involved in service. And so as an attorney, I've always been part of different bar organizations, giving back to the community and providing services as attorneys, going out, doing outreach at different schools. And so this is this is what I love. This is a part of my purpose. Like, as I continue to get older, I realize that the joy that I really have, or that I get, and what's attached to my purpose, is service. So um I got into politics because in 2020 I was actually the president of the Black Bar Association in Broward. So I went to Nova, that's in Broward, started my legal career in Broward. So I'm very plugged in Broward. I've been living in Miami, so I'm plugged in Miami as well. But I was fortunate enough to serve as president in 2020, which was a crazy year because, of course, the pandemic happened. So we had to switch completely virtual. But I was like, these are the goals that I have, and we're still going to do it, whether we do it on Zoom, whether we have a Facebook Live, whatever. So that was the year of a very significant election in our history.
Yes.
As well as a year of reckoning with racism across the world. And so I was fielding calls from law firms, from all these different organizations, to me about how we can diversify all this stuff, all while working at a new firm, by the way. And then we had to inform the voters about the election. And so I'm very passionate about diversity on the bench. And so I was part of an initiative called the Judicial Diversity Initiative. That's the coalition of Black bar associations around South Florida, from Palm Beach to Miami, to get more Black judges on the bench. And so we did forums through JDI, through my organization. We raised money. So my organization, I set an ambitious goal of like $5,000 or $5,500 to raise money for the FRC, the Florida Restoration of Rights Coalition, that pays fines for persons with convicted or with felonies, so they can be able to vote. And we surpassed that goal. We did a Facebook party. Okay. We was on Facebook. I was like, all right, we need a DJ. We just go dance and for money. And we surpassed our goal. So, I was like, the community wants to help. Like, we need to get this information out. So that was, my intro as an individual into the political space, because I was in a position of power and influence, and I wanted to make sure that I used that and respected the position that it is, and reach out to people and do as much as I can. And so that opened my eyes a lot more to like what was going on here in Miami, and like paying attention to who is elected or was elected to represent me.
That part.
And so in 2022, the legislative session earlier this year, in 2021, I was paying attention. Okay. I saw the protest bill, and I saw all these introductions of these like just disenfranchising, discriminatory, and prejudicial bills that were being introduced for the 2022 legislative session. And that included the abortion ban. That included Don't Say Gay. That included censorship for higher education, taking power away from teachers to be able to create an environment that facilitated different thoughts and allowed students to have a culture of safety, to express themselves, and to have, just like a forum of thoughts and discussion, which is the premise of our Constitution, being able to have an open forum and people have differing views. And so I'm paying attention, and I see that the person that represented me now, I was like, wait a minute now, let me look at my voter registration card to make sure that this is correct. No, good and well, this is not the person that's supposed to be representing me casting these votes. And the vote that made me say that's it was his vote. My opponent, James Bush, was the only Democrat to vote for the abortion ban. It has no exception for rape, incest, or human trafficking.
Wow.
And so when I think about that, I think, so rape is negotiable for him, or rape is it's okay, for him. Human trafficking is, and this is how I processed it. And so I was floored. I was livid, and I was just like, now let me back up a bit. When I became an attorney, several of my mentors that I still speak to regularly now, that have been really encouraging throughout this process, it's like, you should run for office. And I'm like, I got too many opinions. I got too big of a mouth. Like, that's not for me. And they were like, that's why we need you. I'm like,
exactly. That's how you need to run.
I was just like, I like the way I'm serving my community now. And I love, just being a private citizen as well. Because people can be mean, people can be cruel. And I was like, I don't want to subject myself to that. And there was an element of fear. So I had been getting this, over the years, like, you should run it. And then I got so angry. I was like, I cannot let this man go unopposed again. So he was unopposed in 2020. And that's largely because of the pandemic and everything that was happening that year. And so I made some phone calls, and literally making a couple phone calls, like it was like a little snowball. After that, it has become an avalanche of momentum, of support. Like it's just been amazing. So that's how I like it was just the fact of something has to be done. There has to be change, and I can be that change. If nobody else is going to step up, why not me? And so that's what made me, you know, I at the end of February is when I made my solid, firm decision. I'm going to run. I announced mid-March, and I've just had so many phone calls, conversations with people who are supportive, strangers who have volunteered their Saturdays to come knock on doors during the week, make phone calls, and it's just amazing. And every single time I come or talk to the community, people are like, "Yeah, it's time for a change." So I know, and I grew up in this community. I grew up in this district. Like, I know people are ready for a change. And so I couldn't just sit back and say, well, I'm gonna be that somebody. And I am.
Man, that's an amazing story. And I love, that journey that you explained about like how you got into politics, and it's so needed, and especially for our generation. My audience is mainly millennials, so I think that's an inspiring story. People need to hear that. Like, sometimes you're watching stuff and you're saying things aren't changing, and sometimes it just has to be you that steps up, especially when you get that urging in. And also too, I want to stay fair as possible, but I know your opponent. I've seen the track record, and I will just say that I'm glad that somebody like you is coming in to bring some change to that district, because the people of that community deserve it. And
Correct.
so congrats to you for taking that step. Can you tell me a little bit about the areas that your district will cover, that for the race that you're running for?
Sure. So District 109 includes downtown. So it actually starts on 22nd Street and Biscayne. So everything west of Biscayne and 22nd Street down to Flagler is District 109. So downtown, and then it wraps around on North River Drive to Overtown, Alapata, Liberty City, Brown Sub, unincorporated Dade County, we call West Little River, Westview area, all the way up to Opelika. So Opelika is the northernmost city. 151st Street is the northernmost border. So it's 151st to Flagler. And then depending on what street you're on the avenues, like when we're over here downtown, it is Biscayne, and then it moves over to 7th Avenue, 10th Avenue, and then when you get to 95th Street, it starts 17th Avenue from 95th all the way to 151st Street. And then on the west side of it, it varies from 32nd Avenue to 37th Avenue. So 37th Avenue is the westernmost avenue, and Biscayne is the easternmost avenue. So it depends.
Okay, that's good to know, because I want to give people a feel of like where the district is, and where they may lie in that area.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears a little bit, because I love to say, not to even be negative or anything, but you have a fight in you, and I don't want. I'm really being delicate with it, because what they say about Black women, and
I will be. Listen, I don't even care. I will be that woman, because we need to be angry, and we need to be motivated, and we need to act, because what they're doing now. So I think about it like this: our parents and the politicians, when we were little, they created the adulthood that we're living in now. All these issues and these struggles that we're experiencing, that was from their decisions. What are our kids going to experience? That solely rests on our shoulders. So if I gotta be the angry Black woman, fine. I will be angry. I will be in your face. I will hold you accountable. I will make sure that these kids have a better opportunity. Like, I don't have kids yet. And so I'm like, I'm going to go as hard as I can while I don't have kids, so that I know that I am creating a future for my babies and for my little nieces and nephews and my little cousins, like, and for kids that are not related to me, all these little kids that deserve to have a Florida that gives them opportunities and doesn't like indoctrinate them, that doesn't, make them feel like they can't be who they are, or that they don't have the ability to control their bodies. Like, we gotta stand up and say it's wrong, and we have to do that. And we gotta go to the polls, and we gotta vote. And
Yeah.
and it's it is dire. Like the alarms are being rang. Like we are in a state of a very dangerous situation. And I see it. I see it. I hear the coded words, like becoming an attorney, like I just have a different way of thinking. So I like my sense of urgency is on level 100 because I see it. I see in 10 years what it could be. And that's why I decided to run. I didn't want to be, 10 years later, like, dang, I should have. Be like, no, I did. I was in the paint. I was fighting, like I sacrificed like our ancestors did. Like they faced death. I'm just facing mean words. Boo hoo. I'm going to make sure that I do what I have to do and like take up that mantle and encourage as many millennials as possible. Like, all right, y'all, we've had it rough in our adulthood. Let's go ahead and change things for the future generations. And we have the power to do that. We have to be bold. We have to speak truth to power. And we have to, call people out. And that's what I'm doing with my opponent. Like,
I saw you had a press conference recently, speaking of calling people out, and I wanted you to speak on that. Tell me about that press conference, because what I see differently and what I like about your campaign is like, you ain't scared. And like, I like to see that, especially from a Democratic candidate, because I always feel like Democrats are so scary. But I feel like, Carol City, we made different. So we ain't gonna just let you say and do. Right. So tell me about this press conference and you saying, I'm gonna say something, and I don't care if I'm a new candidate on the block, you're gonna hear me.
Correct. So it started with Senator Pizzo calling my opponent, telling him, or in the article saying that he's DeSantis' little B, right?
Wow.
And so my opponent, who has missed every single forum, every single debate, even at his press conference said, I'm not going to answer for my record. You mean the people that you're supposed to be accountable to, you don't want to answer for them, to them, or even speak to them? So I had my own press conference and I'm like, I don't want to distract from what is really important. His feelings, that conversation between him and Pizzo has nothing to do with this election for 109. This is what 109 is about. We need him to answer for his record. We need someone who's not going to be DeSantis' favorite Democrat, because that's exactly what he is. Ooh. He stood lock and step, side by side with DeSantis when DeSantis dismantled 2 Black access congressional seats in North Florida. He was the blackface on that stage clapping, wow, applauding that foolishness. And so I'm not going to sit here and allow this non-related issue to the election and the issues at hand be the focal point. Like the Republicans like to have these culture wars. They like to distract. No. We're going to come back. My community deserves answers. My community deserves to have someone who is accountable to them. What I find disrespectful, wholly disrespectful, is the fact that he thinks that these votes are expected and should not be earned. You don't have the decency to even come talk to us? Come on now. Now, come on. Like, not once. He didn't even show up to the NAACP forum.
Wow.
Nothing. And so I was there. I was answering questions as best as I can. And I never pretend like I know everything. I'm like, I don't know it. I'm learning it. I will learn it. I can get back to you. And, that's honesty. That's transparency. I'm not going to sit here and make up stuff. And I'm definitely not going to be the type of person that says, well, I don't need to. He literally said in his press conference, I don't need to, I'm not answering anything for my records. And then when they asked him, are you going to stand up to DeSantis? I don't need to stand up to DeSantis. Oh yeah, you don't, because you lock in step with him on disenfranchising women, disenfranchising the LGBTQIA community. He voted against the Stop Woke Act, or the Stop Woke Act, but like that's why, like, you should, because it's about you and Black history that you say you're such a advocate for. Like he is not representing us, and so it really like I'm getting passionate right now because I
love it.
We deserve so much more.
Yes.
And by the way, he has money. He's being bankrolled by the Republicans. Thousands and thousands of dollars. Me, I'm on the phone calling people, hey, can you please donate some money to my campaign? I'm getting people, like I said, strangers supporting me, sending me money, people that understand that my community deserves better, donating money. And thankfully, like, I'm so honored and humbled that I've gotten so much support. But like, he has Walmart, a Walmart political campaign is funding smear ads and smear mailers about me, Walmart. When Walmart is up in this, and one of the poorest,
Wow.
if not the poorest district in Miami-Dade County, and I believe we are the poorest district. If Walmart has a vested interest, that means that they are working because they have something coming down the pipeline, and I'm going to interrupt it.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
you got to see, like, this is the long game, and we can't just be looking at stuff right now. We got to look at 10 years from now. What are they planning? And what is he going to be locking step with them planning on?
Yeah.
How
What
is
is
that
he
gonna affect-
supporting?
Exactly. So did he ever come out and, say, oh, they shouldn't be sending this about this young Black woman? I can stand on my record. No, he's been silent like he's always been. So his silence is a betrayal. His acquiescence is a betrayal. And he honestly already betrays us on different votes. So no, like, I don't have any problem with calling him out. I don't have any problem with calling a spade a spade. I don't. Because the fact of the matter is, he started in 1992. You've been in and out of office for 30
Wow.
years. 30 years. That's more than half my life. I don't see my community being better. I don't see my community being 50% better when you've been the rep in and out of office for more than 50% of my life. I don't see it. And like, where's the empowerment in the community? You come around when it's election time and that's it. Like, we deserve so much better. We deserve better.
Man, I love, all the stuff that you're breaking down. And these are the things that the people need to hear. I want them to know about the issues and things that you're going to work on when elected. What are the things that you want the constituents to know that you're going to be working for?
So first of all, education. I product of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and I was a teacher in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Our teachers deserve more. Our teachers deserve better. And I'm definitely going to be advocating for public education. Our community schools are wonderful schools. We have amazing teachers. We have brilliant students. We have motivated, engaged parents. We don't have the resources. And that's the issue. And he is a very staunch charter school supporter. And I taught at Alapata, where my kids were babysat at different charter schools and kicked out when the money was gone. And then they came back and they were on my scores. Okay. Wow. I had to remediate. And when I tell you I had to remediate, the duration of the year, my kids, they already knew how I functioned. And I had to sit with the students that came from charter schools and try to compress a whole year of not learning into some weeks before the tests. Okay. This is like the reality of teachers in our community. So supporting teachers, giving them those resources, and parents too. Parents, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, but that doesn't mean you don't desire to know. Mm-hmm. So empowerment and housing. Like, I'm learning a lot more about what can be done, how I can partner with the municipalities, the county to provide, some type of relief for the housing crisis. It is an affordability crisis, and it doesn't matter your socioeconomic status, but it absolutely intensifies the degree and the severity of the situation based on your socioeconomic status,
Definitely.
And criminal justice reform. I'm a public defender. I'm always be a public defender at heart, but I was a public defender. I'm now doing criminal defense in my own practice. I started my own practice last year, and so criminal defense is very near and dear to my heart. Thank you, girl. It's been a whirlwind. I don't even know
how are you doing this? You got a battery on your back? Who are you?
I just, I be tired. I be tired. Criminal justice reform, there are different ways where, like, coded language. Again, you look at the ways laws are written, coded language. Supporting small businesses. Had I not started my own firm, I would not be able to empathize and relate with small business owners, especially black business and brown business owners in the community. About the lack of resources, the lack of access to resources. And so supporting these small businesses and empowerment. Like, I want to give as much information out, connect as many people as I can. Like, in my community, we have a beautiful, thriving, just loving, creative, amazing, diverse, dynamic district. Our community is beautiful, resilient. We have the ability to progress, to be have different aesthetics. So looking at how the community is, taken care of, and the upkeep of the community, and like just the businesses that are in the community, and like all the things that we can do to support. Because I do want my kids to go. I want my kids to have an opportunity to go to Carroll City. I want my kids, to experience what I did. Carroll City isn't in a district, but you get what I mean. Like, I don't want to have to feel like, oh, I gotta send my kid all the way out to this place or whatever. Like our community schools are worth it. And so that goes into economics. So supporting the businesses that are there. And then reproductive rights. We know that Black women are 3 times more likely to die during childbirth because of the lack of adequate medical care that we get prenatal, postnatal, and just plainly sometimes doctors not even believing. Like, it is systemic and institutionalized racism, and there are studies upon studies upon studies. And so that goes into reproductive care and reproductive rights and having bodily autonomy. And what people are not thinking about is like, oh, well, if a woman is made to carry to term, how does that look in the workforce? We have a lot of women who are the breadwinners, the head of household. And if they're working where they have to work and they're not salaried, and we don't have paid maternity leave, all these things, like, come on. And then when you talk about the 15-week abortion ban, I had students who would become, progressively worse with their acting out, and then realize that 2 months later, or 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, something traumatic happened to them. But they could not have that conversation because they didn't have the ability to have it because of the trauma. They didn't have the language. They were scared. So think about like a little girl being raped.
Yeah.
Being impregnated, not really being familiar with her body. And then she finally tells somebody and she's 16 weeks or she's 17 weeks. And you mean to tell me this baby is going to have to be traumatized, re-traumatized over and over by carrying her child, that baby to term? And when you have the consequences of a doctor who's willing to perform a procedure for a woman for her body, or a little girl for her body, more stiff than a rapist or akin to a rapist, like, where are we going? What is going on? So, so reproductive care, like, those are the issues that I am very passionate about. And then there are different things that I'm learning about, like climate justice. Having canopies, trees, planting more trees so that the trees can cool down the environment, because in lower socioeconomic communities, you have higher light bills because there are no shades, there's no trees. Like, what are we doing there? And environmental justice, when we talk about these floodings, like, how are we providing relief? And the housing crisis also includes like rent and homeowners with these homeowners insurance. Like, there's so many things that the Republican dominated legislature isn't addressing, but my opponent is staying silent or not voting or being absent or straight up betraying the community and not even trying to advocate for them. So I don't believe that I'm going to have the whole world laid at my hand, even though, I'm going to write it down. I'm a manifest, right? But they're going to know that I'm up there fighting.
Yeah.
And figuring it out.
I really appreciate that. And those are really important issues. And those are things that people need to know about, especially the things that you stand for. So I appreciate you breaking that down for us. I want to switch gears just a little bit before I let you go. I want to know, we spoke a little bit about health and mental health. I want to know what are you listening to right now to keep you motivated? I know campaigning is stressful. It's a lot. I want to know what's on that playlist right now that keeps you up, that keeps you going. What are you listening to right now?
So at different points, I've evolved with my different playlists. So the first one was when Kendrick's album came out. I work out to Kendrick Lamar. Like, I haven't worked out in a while, but when I was working out consistently, my trainer would be like, all right, I got Kendrick on. Okay, thank you. And I work out to Kendrick. So I was like, Kendrick. And then Burna Boy came out with an album. I was like, oh, Burna Boy. But now in this home stretch, my girl Beyonce.
I was hoping you said Beyonce.
Single day, like that's it. It's Renaissance. I'm like I have to be in the mindset like alien superstar. Like I'm beyond this world. Like, and then I go to can't break my soul or break my soul, and I'm like, I play that album like I don't skip. I play it through and through because each time I listen to a different song, it's like I get something different out of it that keeps me like, all right, girl, you got this. Like you in the home stretch, you got a couple more days. You did it. Like you survived. It hasn't been easy. Like I haven't had that breakdown cry yet because I'm like, I don't know if I could do that just yet because I got to keep going. Yeah. But like, it's been stress. Like the stuff that I've been like the audacity that people have to say things to women like, oh, you so pretty. Why you just don't go ahead and get married and have kids? Why are you doing this? Why you not married? And now some bush troll is on social media. It's like, is she a lesbian? And he said this, how misogynistic. He was like, oh, I looked at her profile on her website and she's not married and doesn't have no, I looked at her profile and it's incomplete. She's not married and doesn't have kids. Why not? I'm like, first of all,
what type of sex is? Oh, Bush, please. That is such a lazy read. Like, sir, come better. Come on.
And the thing is, this homophobic play, they've done it before. And yes, I know that they're desperate now. Because they're reverting to that. Like, my private life is my private life. It's none of your business. First of all, I don't have to answer to you or to anybody else. And to think that a woman is incomplete because she doesn't have a husband or children. What year are we in?
Exactly, sir. The issues. Please stick to them.
Correct.
What are you doing?
Correct. So, I'm like, whatever. Like,
that's, I want to say it here first. I want to, break this news. Hello News is endorsing Ashley Gant for state representative for District 109. Her audience, look, if you're in her district, you need to vote for Ashley. She is the change that we need to see. We need this type of energy. Look, you see how she called it? Look, we need that energy in Tallahassee. So, guys, we are endorsing her. We are saying go vote for her. Election day is coming on August 23rd. Early voting is going on now through Sunday. Guys, let's go make sure that Ashley is a person up there representing us. We need that energy. Bush, your time is up. 30 years is enough, and you don't have any receipts at this point. So we want to go with somebody who we know is going to help us bring change to our community, especially in that Overtown, Opelika, Liberty City community that you're going to be representing. Some of Hialeah, like those sensitive areas, those areas that need a lot of care. We need somebody who really gives a fuck. Like, sorry, I gotta say it. Like, so we are endorsing you, and you have my support 100%. I want to thank you for taking time to come with us and speak and tell about your campaign. Can you let people know how they can support you, how they can follow you? Let them know a little bit of information. If they want to just learn more about you, where can they go?
Okay, so thank you again, Janey. Like, I'm so grateful for this platform, for this conversation. Like, two young Black women, like, we gotta support each other. Like, I am truly grateful. Like, every syllable of those words, like, I am truly grateful. I mean it. So if you want to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, it's Gant FOR Florida. So Gant for Florida. And then on Twitter, it's Gant for Florida, the number 4. My website is simply ashley.vote. And I'm no longer able to accept donations. The deadline was midnight yesterday on the 18th. But you can send a text message out to 5 people, 10 people tell your family to go vote. Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is the last day, but Saturday and Sunday, the voting times are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then today, Friday, is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And election is on the 23rd. I do have a watch party at the Urban on the 23rd. Doors open at 6:30. So y'all invited. I'm not going to be feeding everybody. We're going to have finger food. So you might want to, bring some money for the food truck or something that's there, or, but, people are invited. I'm very excited. I'm so humbled. I am so grateful that I can be in this position to advocate and to vie for my community support and becoming the state representative, and do it within 6 months. raise as much as I have, do it as well as I have been. I got the Miami Herald endorsement. I got the Miami Times endorsement. I got the unions, all the unions. And I got Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, who never endorses anyone. So I'm like, thank God. I just got, it's called the Florida Leadership Council. It's an organization, a political organization that's composed of over 100 plus former legislators, congressmen and women, and Florida state legislators, senators, and representatives. They endorse me.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, the momentum is here. All gas, no brakes. So if you want to help me on election day and volunteer, make sure that people know, like, just go to my website. It's different opportunities to sign up, to volunteer, and just help me get the word out. Like, I am battling a 30-year name, and that's the reality of it. And the millennials in our district, we are actually the second largest group. So if they break it down into different subsets, but like, we are the largest group of voters, but we're not the largest group that regularly votes. It's like 50 and over, they're the ones that regularly vote. So if we get the millennials out and they like show up, that's it.
Yeah. Look, I saw the endorsements that you were getting. I was like, oh, this is no joke. And to have Frederica Wilson, I think the voters need to know that means a lot, to have the Miami Herald, Miami Times, and have these endorsements and the unions. That's saying that the community wants change. And Ashley is it, guys. Let's make sure we're voting on election day. Ashley Gantt for state representative. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today. I appreciate it. I wish you the best. I wish you luck with all of this. Stay strong. I know you need all your energy. Your soul will not be broken, okay? I see it. I appreciate you for taking time, Ashley, to speak with us.
No problem. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, what's up, Hilo News family? This show is brought to you by Baptist Health's Pine App. Healthcare at your fingertips with the Pine App. Head to HiloNewsMiami.com right now to learn more about their app and all the new features created to improve your healthcare experience with Baptist Health. Thank you for tuning in.